Welcome to FM Corner. I'm Danny Koontz, Director of Relationship Management for Windy City Equipment. Today I want to talk about management styles, and it's actually telling versus teaching. Two different kinds. Take a quick moment. Ask yourself that question. What kind of manager are you? Are you a telling manager or are you a teaching manager? Telling manager means every time you get the opportunity, are you just telling someone what to do because it's quicker, it's easier, and you give them the information that you've gathered over your time or your experience, and they get the answer and they move along with what you've told them? Or are you a teaching manager? Teaching manager is you try to take every opportunity when someone comes to you with a question or a problem to try to help teach them how to go through the process and figure it out. It's an important difference. Telling somebody kind of what to do seems to be quicker. Can look at it as, is it more efficient? But it's direct, and you're telling someone this is what you should do. Does that work? Yeah, most of the time, because you're typically leaning on your experience from dealing with the situation before to give someone a good idea of what they should go do. Kind of takes the pressure off them. They're not having to figure out what to do. They're coming to you and you're giving them direction to go do that. Is that the best way to do it? Not in my opinion. Because what happens is the person takes your direction, they go try to do it. Maybe they don't do it in the way that you meant for it to be done or to be handled. And when it's done, they go, hey, I don't know what to do. This is what you told me to do, and I did it. All that is it's on you. You're the one that told me what to do. The other thing that does is that limits the other person. How do they grow? How do they figure things out when you are just telling them what to do? That's why teaching seems to me to be the best way. Teaching doesn't mean you have to sit them down and do it like a class. Teaching can be as simple as, okay, here's our problem. What are your thoughts? What do you think we ought to do? And you try to start that conversation that gets them thinking about what to do. And you're not telling them, you're waiting to see what they come up with. And as they start to come up with a plan, then you kind of help them work through that. And at the end of it, what you're really looking for is they have found a solution that you agree with or think will work, and they pretty much come up with it on their own with only a little push or a little guidance from you. You could say something simply as there's a part of the conversation they have, and you say, well, did you think about this? And they might say no, and it changes the way the trajectory goes to get to the resolution. But that's just kind of keeping it inside the lines. You want people to learn and to think for themselves. That's how you figured it out. That's what you want other people to do. Many times in a company, people want everything funneled to the people that they trust the most. And whether that's coming up with decisions, that's talking to a customer, whoever that is, and that's fine. But when you do that, you also stifle other people who need to learn how to make the same decisions, learn how to have difficult conversations. And how are they ever going to learn if they never do it? They got to stub their toe. They got to have opportunities. Now, you don't want them to fall off the cliff, but they've got to learn what you do and how you go about it. And as long as you're always providing that buffer for them by here's what you should do, and they go do that, there's no accountability. There's not responsibility on their point. And how to adapt in the situation if something should change, they'll have no idea. They'll have to stop where they are and come back to you and go, okay, this happened. Now what do you want me to do? There's no effort on their behalf, and there doesn't need to be because you're the one that's always telling them what to do. People tend to want follow-up, and they want feedback from you. They just may not say it, but most people want it. So you can do that in a way that is giving them feedback, giving them assistance. But at the end of the day, they really are going, hey, I figured most of this out all by myself without needing any help, just a little support here and there, but I've got it. And that gives them confidence that the next time something happens, they can come up with a solution themselves. That's what you typically want. All you're doing is trying to help steer the conversation and be a listener that asks thoughtful responses, or how about, or did you cover this? Things like that. You're not telling them what to do. You're helping them get to a resolution to go tackle the issue that they have. That's what you want. If you don't do that with your team and you always give them the answer because it's quicker and so on, and they don't ask, and you think you're doing, a great job by being that person, you're not. You're actually doing a disservice to your team. At the end of the day, you want to be a teacher, just like people were for you earlier in your career. You want to help guide them and give them the opportunities to learn. And then you are kind of the side of the road, keeping it in the middle and helping them along as they need help, but you're not the teller. You're the teacher. People taught you, and they helped you. And that's how you become a good leader. You need to take that skill and now impart that back to your team and help them become better in this, and not as dependent on you, but out making decisions on their own. Sure, they'll make a mistake here and there, but they'll learn from it. The next time they'll know not what to do, and they will do it the right way. They'll figure it out over time. But you got to give them a chance, and then you got to help them. Don't be a teller, be a teacher. That's our episode today. Thank you so much for listening. Look forward to speaking with you again next week.